right. Hello, GenRight Nation. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. I've got my friend Rick McGuire here, and we're at a remote location here in Tennessee. I'll go into that in just a second. I want to remind everybody this is something that we do live every Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on both YouTube and Facebook. So make sure you subscribe and like so that you get the notifications. As always, you're going to be able to ask questions by typing in a comment. So feel free. We've got Jen here. She's going to read those off to us. So just type them in and give us as much information as you can if it's a tech question. We've got a couple Jeeps here to talk about. We've got the park that we're at to talk about. So we're going to go into a bunch of information here. Of course, I'm here for the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. We got here a couple of days ago, got our booth set up. Tomorrow is the official start of the show. So we've got Jeff Perkins, Keith Lyon, and a bunch of our ambassadors are here. So we'll all be at the booth. And we've got a number of different Jeeps we're going to have there for you guys to look at and talk about and ask us questions. We've also brought some product that we're going to be happy to sell you guys as well. So by all means, come on by, say hi, and check out what we have. Okay, so Rick.
Wait. Let's say who's
yeah,
a lot of people are saying hi.
Yes, okay.
Mike Stewart says, hey, Jim Snyder, howdy. Bo Fisher, what's up?
All
Jeffrey
right.
Rorda, hello. Albert Gutierrez, hi, guys. Esther Parrott Newcomb, hello, GenRight Nation. Troy
Nice.
Merritt, hello, Tony and GenRight. BB Tom, hello, GenRight Nation.
Esther and Tom, we're going to miss you guys out here.
Heath Ironside says hi. David Mork, Jerome.
Keith,
Jeff
how's
Long.
that Jeep coming? I want to know, give me an update on your Elite build.
Mike Stewart says, so I know Terremoto has your heart, but Aftershock or Terremoto?
Oh, well.
Sounds like you answered your own question.
What are you driving today?
T-Moto, yeah.
Bam, bam.
Yeah, and it ran good today, so she's been a good girl. Yeah.
You did show me up on one of my own trails, so I gotta give you that. Give me those props on that one.
Esther says they're
What
sad.
trail was that?
Golf cart.
Golf cart.
Yes.
I keep trying to call it side by side, but it's
Yeah,
golf
golf
cart
cart.
because
Yeah,
we
we-
call side by sides golf
Yeah,
cart.
we bought this property and it had that golf cart body sitting there.
Oh,
right
that's
there.
what that was.
And,
Gotcha.
yeah.
And Kathy McCavis says hi. Matt McDonough, Keith Crum, Jim Smith from Michigan.
Wow.
Rick Turner from Arkansas with the drowned TJ saying, yo, diggity, GenRight Nation. Richard, hi, Tony, the GenRight team from Daytona.
Awesome.
And James Robert from Moab.
All right.
Terremoto for the win.
Okay.
Oh, and Rodney from Australia. That's cool.
Wow, nice.
Oh, Mom's watching. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. All right. Awesome.
Ginger's
Okay.
on.
Yeah, Ginger.
They're still
All
saying
right.
hi. It's exciting.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So, everybody, I'm Rick McGuire. We're here at his and Kim's property.
Yep.
Tell us what we're standing inside of.
So we are standing inside of a event center that we are building, almost done, as you can see. A
Yep.
few finishing touches need to be
turned
put
out
on.
nice.
It's close. It's close. So it's a social gathering area. We're going to have a bar here. Not free.
That we're leaning
Yeah,
on.
we're leaning on, yeah. Full kitchen, bathrooms, sign-up area, and basically just a hangout area for the park. So many people want to come out and they want to wheel for a couple hours and just want to hang out and talk Jeeps with their buddies, and this is going to give them a place to do it.
Okay, so for those that don't know about BAYS Mountain, tell us a little bit about it. Go through acreage, description of the trails.
Okay. So we bought the property, I don't know, 2.5 years ago, and it's 103 acres, and we had no intentions of having an off-road park there. It was just personal property, and we could not believe that we actually were able to obtain this acreage here close to town that was hilly enough to make it interesting, but not so steep. It's not mountainous, it wasn't so bad that you couldn't use it. And a little over a year ago, we started talking with one of our friends in another Jeep club who's a lawyer, and we had a lot of people asking about opening up trails, and which I had been putting in just for personal use and our friends. And so we had a friend of ours, we were worried about liability and all that, so we worked through things like that, and we actually opened up a year ago for the Invasion, and We have Halloween events. We're mainly open on weekends, but as the park grows, we're gonna change that. We've got single track trails for dirt bikes, and we've got a lot of bikes that come out here for that. We've got some side-by-sides that come out occasionally, and it's a good time. Everybody likes it, and we're working on it. We're building, and we're adding more trails. And as you can see, where we went out today, you don't see the other trails from where you're at. So I know
you guys want to move over here so we can show them before it gets dark?
Yeah.
It's such a cool
yeah,
park.
because it is beautiful out here. We can just kind of stand right here so they can get a good glimpse of it.
There's Rick's Jeep. You can see our moat.
You can see, one of the trails taking off right there. So that's kind of cool. There's actually Jeeps out there right now.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
There's 9 of them out there. Yeah, 9 of them. Yeah. So we have green trails that are stock friendly. So if you have a brand new Jeep off the showroom floor with road tires, it will get through trail number 1 mainly, but a lot of green trails with no scratches, no body damage. You're not going to break axle shafts. And then we have blue trails, which are intermediate, a little steeper, a little more off camber.
Yeah.
And then we have some reds, and they're getting good shape. They're getting fun. Some rocks are starting to pop up and get exposed, and it's just a good time.
Yeah. And like I always tell you guys, the idea is get you out there using your vehicle, get you excited about off-roading, and this is a great place to do that.
So many people don't know what to do from the very beginning, and they see other parks fairly close to here that are just really, really large, and they are worried about getting lost. They've heard horror stories about some of the trails that are, washed out and in poor condition. So we keep the green trails green. We maintain them when we need to, and we're here. So if you want to come out by yourself and you get stuck on a tree or a hill or whatever, we can recover. We can come out, and we don't charge anything for it. We like doing it.
Yeah, for sure. So any questions so far?
Do you have an update on the 42s?
Oh, yeah, they're here.
Yeah.
They're here on another one of my vehicles.
Yeah.
So they were in the park today. You saw them.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
So.
And Anthony asked, do you sell the TJ aluminum sliders pre-cut to fit with your aluminum fenders?
So all the sliders that we sell for TJ, YJ, CJ, even LJ, are going to come longer than you need, because we never know if somebody has a front fender with a flare or without a flare. So that changes the length on what it would need or how much stretch you guys have. So we just sew them long and then allow you guys to cut them to the length that you need once you get them mounted up.
And then Justin said, I know JKUs aren't the hot new thing, but it sure would be cool if you offered fully welded cages for the JKU.
So we did do that for a number of years, but we've gotten so busy in our install shop, which is now doing all EXS JLs, that the guys just haven't had time. Every once in a while, we get a lull where we're waiting on parts, and I've got to keep the guys busy. So if you call in and talk to Andrew Harris, tell him what you're looking for. He might be able to help you out and keep your name on that short list for, when we have a lull, and it only takes the guys a day to knock one out. So.
And then he asked, can you special request a cut before it gets shipped?
Yeah, we're really not set up to do that. It is possible. They're going to charge you by the hour. It's going to go across the street. And if it's not right, you own it. So you just got to know all that going.
Esther has a question for Rick. What's the cost to visit the park? And do you have a website?
Website is info@BAYS Mountain.
Oh, that's your email, right?
Offroad.com.
What's your website?
Is it just BAYS Mountain?
No, yeah, BAYSMountain.com. Sorry, I have to
Gotta ask the wife.
because I don't know. And she's afraid to get on the camera, so she's hiding over there.
And what's the cost?
Normal cost is $20 for drivers and $10 for passengers, and kids 15 and under are free. But today, or this week, for the Invasion, we're doing a flat $25 per vehicle, and then 20% of that goes to St. Jude's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a great park.
Yeah. Yeah, we buzzed around for a couple hours, and it was fun. Yeah. We didn't get to do everything, but we got to hit a few things, and we're going to go out for a night ride. After this show, we're going to head out with all these folks and
We're gonna hit some red
go
trails.
have some fun
Yeah, we're
stuff.
gonna
So,
hit some red
yeah.
trails.
Bo Fisher asks for a 2015 two-door JK Sport Wrangler. Are your aluminum flares considered high clearance? Is there any difference between the flares for a Rubicon versus Sport?
That was a 2015.
Yeah, two-door JK Sport.
So no, on those, they're going to be exactly what I have, here on Terremoto. And those are, we just do them one. Now, I do have what we call the narrow on the front versus the standard. And that will give you a little bit more clearance for articulation, depending on your tire width. But no, these will easily clear a 40, if not a 42. So, yeah, that should be all you need for sure.
I'm running 43s up there.
Up there,
And they
yeah,
clear.
they clear.
Yeah, they
So,
clear.
yeah.
Do you know if we have any Labor Day promos coming up?
We've got a promo going right now. You'd have to go to our website. It's right when you get there. It's the very first image you'd see on the screen. You can click on it, and it'll give you the details of everything that we're promoting right now. But I do know that we will have a Labor Day one as well. Yes.
They said, okay, thanks.
Yep. Yeah.
Matt McDonough, considering a full rolling chassis for my JK, how long from ordering to taking delivery? And do I have to get it with Kings?
You do not have to get it with Kings. You have the Fox option. You'd have to call in and talk to Andrew Harris to figure out what the lead time is. I know that we have two brand new frames sitting there. So it would just be a matter of getting in line to get your name on one. So, yeah.
Granite Wheeler says he's watching because you're more interesting than the debates.
Oh, geez,
funny.
that's good. Well, we're gonna debate in just a second here, because Rick's got spin around. Rick's got a JK sitting here with our Elite kit, and all of you always ask me about, do I have to use the Curries? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? Well, Rick took it upon himself to just Frankenstein together one of my kids.
Sure. You had some great drawings. I borrowed your drawings, your blueprints. So I borrowed a couple numbers off of there, and I checked myself.
But he's got 14 bolt.
14
right?
volt in the rear.
And Super Duty 60.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and a lot of people have asked us about that. So I wanted to show this vehicle, have you guys ask whatever questions you want, and because he's figured it out. You even did a different skid plate than we do.
Yeah.
Using that AR steel.
I'm using AR 400. So with the aluminum that you're using, 7075 aluminum is a hard aluminum, and it's lightweight and works very, very well. But on the East Coast, we deal with a lot of sharp rocks that we're hitting and trying to slide over, really. So I opted to go with the AR 400. Now I have two Jeeps. One I'm using 3/16 AR 400, and that's very, very heavy. And this one here, I'm only using 1/8 inch thick AR 400. And it was kind of a trial to see how well it would hold up. It's doing very well. It's scratched. You can see minor scratches on it, but it's not gouged, it's not dented, and it's doing very well. So I kind of like that. It's very durable.
Yeah.
But it's tough stuff.
That was just one of the many changes you made.
Many changes. Of course, using those axles versus the Curry axles, the dimensions are slightly different, but I put the control arm brackets to the same dimensions of what you have set up, and I don't have any binding issues. I don't have any problems. Double triangulated 4-link in the rear, 3-link in the front, and no issues at all, really. But as you're building stuff, it's always measure, tack weld it, knock it off, try it again, move it a little bit to make sure you get it right where you want it.
What's the width on these axles? Because the wheel offset looks like quite a bit.
It is. I don't remember the actual width on the axle, but I know outside the tire, I'm about 91.
Oh, you're really wide.
I'm really wide, yeah.
Oh, because I think I'm 84.
So the 14 bolt is narrower than the Super Duty. So I'm actually running I think it's an inch and a half. Yeah, I'm running an inch and a half spacer on the rear to get to about the same track as the Super Duty in the front.
Okay. Interesting.
Good or bad, it's so far it's working well.
Yeah.
Yep. And again, here Tennessee, a lot of off-cambers. You get so many off-cambers.
So going wide.
Go wide.
Yeah.
If you can, the wider the better, and length.
And you've got the 2.5 Kings on here.
2.5 Kings, yeah.
Okay. And 2.5s on the other one?
2.5 Fox on the other one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Heaven Guard has a question for you.
Sure.
Hey, Tony, 2 weeks until I drop my Jeep TJ off to get a Chevy Performance Connect and Cruise LS3 installed.
Nice.
What accessory drive system would you recommend to add everything to it to make it work and fit?
So I know Peter Doolin. A lot of you know Peter Doolin. He just put on the brand new Holly setup, which looked like it worked really well. He ended up being able to use his air conditioning and everything in there. We sell an accessory kit as well, so you can check out ours if you want to go down that road. And then, of course, on Terremoto, I originally built that with vintage air in there, heat and air. So I used their whole accessory package. I probably wouldn't do that again. I'd probably go with the Holly setup. I saw that. It looks really nice.
Okay.
So
JC says those rigs are so nice.
yeah, we're having fun in them.
Yeah.
Jerome asks, what is Tony's first project when he gets back from his East Coast trip?
Oh my goodness. My first project is going to be doing a couple things on my YJ because I'm headed straight to the Rubicon. So, yeah, got to get a couple things done there.
Cool.
And repairs on this, because after this weekend, we're going to show you.
Oh, I can tell you guys, I am doing a special Tech Talk series with Edelbrock, which is also Comp Cams, and we're going to be doing some upgrades to this engine when I get back. So the next Tech Talk, September 6th, we'll have the front end of this thing ripped apart and put a new cam in. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
What else?
Anyway, Night Diver says, Rocky from Washington, YJ 1-ton, coilovers, 4-link rear, 3-link front, 107-inch wheel-to-wheel. Will GenRight YJ rear sway bar work with 16-inch coilovers?
Yeah. So what it turns out is that from the inside bulge of the tire to the coil, you need 5 inches. And as long as you have 5 inches there, that sway bar will fit inside there without anything rubbing. So just double check that. And if you need to put a spacer or a different offset wheel, you can do that as well. But good question.
Did you do a factory tour of Mickey Thompson?
I did not. Turned out all the Mickey Thompson people were getting ready to come here. So they're all here now, and I'll be visiting with them tomorrow.
What's for dinner?
We don't know yet.
Several questions.
We haven't
Rick,
thought
what's
that
for
far.
dinner?
We haven't thought that far.
Well,
We talked about burgers. We
Yeah.
had a late lunch. We don't even know.
yeah.
So
She said, cool, I was looking at that, still wanting to keep my AC and heater since it's still going to be emission compliant. Thanks.
yeah, that'll be a good choice.
What's for dinner tomorrow?
And I think that vehicle with that accessory kit on it is here. So it should be around, and you guys can check it out. So.
Anthony says your first order of business is to eat some In-N-Out when you get back.
Oh, yeah.
Not a bad plan.
What I need is a diet. That's what I need.
Salad.
I've been eating nothing but junk food on this trip.
Well, tomorrow we might be doing stir fry. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He said you're looking Tennessee hot right now.
It is hot.
It's
Yes.
humid.
Yeah.
It's cooling down now.
It is.
It's nice now.
It's nice. Yeah. A little more breeze and we'd be styling. But we turned off the fan so you guys can hear us.
I want to show this trail over here.
Yeah.
Rick was telling us how he cut trails. Tell our Tech Talk viewers how you cut a trail.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating.
So this property was logged about 50 years ago, and there were some old logging roads that had large pine trees in them, and they just needed taken out when we first got here. And I started with just a chainsaw and hand clippers, and it took forever. And what happened a lot was after you would cut the tree as low as you could get it to the dirt, after you rode on it for a little while, the leaves and the compost and the pine needles and all that would go away, and you still had 4 to 6 inches of a stump sticking up, and which is not good on the trail. So I quickly realized just take the bulldozer out there and lean on the tree and push the whole tree over and get as much dirt off the stump as you can, put it back in the hole and push it over the side of the hill. And I don't cut by hand anymore, except for single track. They'd have to do that by hand, and that takes a long time. But
Yeah, because you have a whole network of single track trails out there as well.
Yeah, we do. We have 5 miles right now, and we have plans to minimum double that this winter when the leaves are off, so you can see better.
Yeah.
But yeah, cutting the trails for the Jeep trails, the wide trails are it's pretty easy. But I'll go out and walk with the dogs. A lot of times I go out walking with them, and especially in the wintertime when there's no leaves or whatever, I take a roll of caution tape with me, and I'll leave about 1.5 foot of it hanging from a tree limb of where I want a trail to go. And then when I get time, I jump on the dozer and I loosely follow that trail, and I avoid knocking down the hardwood trees and the big trees and all that. So it just zigzags and sometimes gets really off camber, and not really sure if the Jeep's going to make it through there until I try it. But that's kind of how I make trails. I don't know how other people do it, but that's kind of how I do it, and it seems to work out pretty well.
Yeah, I enjoyed it because they weren't just like a straight cut through. You're zigzagging, and like you say, to get around those trees you don't want to take out, you're, going back and forth, and then you're in the ravines. You're all over the place. So it's interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Kathy asked, how hot and humid is it there?
It was 91 when we came to
91, 92 today.
Yeah.
But like 100% humidity. So you're just dying.
Rick Turner asked, are both of you running sway bars front and rear?
I'm not running any sway bar.
So this is more my road Jeep than my off-road Jeep, and I am running the stock sway bar on it, Rubicon sway bar, so I disconnect it, but it's a little too stiff. My off-road Jeep, I'm not running any sway bar at all, so it flexes a lot better. But I kind of like the stiff feel on the road, no body roll, but it is rough when you hit some bumps and stuff. It doesn't flex very well.
Right. Yeah, you get what I call that sway bar whiplash.
You do. And the springs are set up a little stiff, and I knew that when I put this one together to keep from body roll on the road. But it is stiff on the trails. That's why you beat me today.
We were just having fun. What else you got over there?
Dave and Laura said, might see you tomorrow and pick your brain on the GenRight aluminum rock rails I purchased.
Yeah, no problem.
Kelly Sims. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Josh.
Hey,
Nestor,
Kel.
they're saying hi.
And Josh, nice.
All right, Kelly asked, are you camping on the Rubicon Trail or are you staying at the ice house?
We
need to know.
Yeah, no, camping.
Camping.
Yes, camping.
Okay.
I've never done that. Is it all there? I mean, it's gotta
beautiful.
be a good time. It looks
It
like
is.
such a
It's
good
beautiful.
time.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
Oh, Jerome said, sorry to hear what happened to your dad's house.
Yeah,
Glad they're
that
okay.
So my dad was having a bunch of construction done in his house, not far from here, and they left for a few days so that the contractors could finish it, and got a call in the night. It burnt to the ground. So they're pretty in shock.
Yeah.
So I might end up leaving my motorhome here for them to live in while they're figuring it all out and fly home. So I don't know.
I know somebody can take you to the airport.
Yeah, and you might have to house my Jeep for a little while.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll put it up there.
Oh, Callie says, hi, Uncle Tony and Jennings.
Hi.
I love you, Callie. Miss you. Okay, we're caught up on questions.
Pretty caught up? Okay. So tell us more about your Jeep. Earlier you were telling me, hey, there was things about, you called it a 13 bolt, and there was other things you said, now that you know, you would have done differently. So let's talk about that.
So my LJ, most people that mess with the 14 bolts, there's a shave conversion you can do, and it's quite extensive. You cut a bunch of material off the bottom of the housing, and then you weld a plate onto it, and then you have to take the ring gear to a machine shop, and they have the correct way is to put it on a lathe and turn down the outside edge of the ring gear to get it to clear. And it's quite involved, and if you don't do the welding properly, it always leaks oil. It's kind of a pain in the butt.
And once it leaks, you can't go back and fix it.
And it is the best way to get the most amount of clearance out of a 14 bolt. It is good. I had that on my LJ, and it worked well, but it always leaked. And this one here, I didn't want to go to that extent, so I just went with the 13 bolt conversion. So on those axle housings, there's a bolt hole at the very, very bottom, the 14th bolt we call it. And you can mill or grind that housing away. You get rid of the big lip on the very bottom of it.
What I call the corn planter.
Yes, it hangs down and catches everything.
Yep.
You get rid of that, and plus you can mill the housing or grind and get rid of that bottom bolt hole. and it still leaves about 1/4 of an inch of housing for it to seal. And then there's multiple places that make covers for it that just eliminate that hole. So they call it a 13-bolt conversion. And it gets you everything within, I don't know the exacts, I'm going to say about 1/2 of an inch of the full shave kit. And if you don't have a machine shop, if you have to take it somewhere and you're going to pay like $450 for the kit plus another $450 for it to be installed.
Properly installed.
Yeah, it's $1,000 to get that extra half of an inch.
Yeah.
And what we do normally, we run big tires, big sticky tires, and we don't care. We just drag it through the rocks anyhow. And I'm sure, and there's places where it would have helped versus getting stuck, but it didn't seem to get stuck that much, with that. So well, I just choose to do it that way because it's easier to do. You can actually grind it off in your garage. You don't have to have a machine shop do it. So people that are looking to save money, and you're going to go with a 14-bolt because you're going to save money. I like the 13-bolt conversion because I think it's almost as good for the money you save. Gotcha. And that's what I'm running on this one.
Okay, so the other question I have for you is the pinion on a 14-bolt is very low. Doesn't the drive shaft or the yoke get into a lot of stuff?
So there's a guard that you can buy for it. It's a pinion guard for that, and you bolt it on because the pinions unbolt basically out of the 14-bolt. So you put that pinion guard on there, and I have ruined some drive shafts sitting right on the rocks and just went anyhow. But usually when I'm running the 14-bolt rear, I'm also running the Super Duty front with a high pinion, and if I'm going, of course, through the same rocks, front and rear, there's not a lot of times where I've messed up the rear drive shaft where I didn't mess up the front too. So the pinion guard is all beat up on both of my rigs because it works, and it does save the U-joint off the rocks. But again, the trade-off cost-wise on the 14-bolt, and what we have seen, what I see on the East Coast, all the parks that I've gone to, you get so many people that don't want to put a lot of money into a trail rig because it's going to get beat up. So they're going with 14 bolts and Super Duties and stuff. And when you break an axle shaft and you go in the parking lot, somebody's always got a 14-bolt axle shaft. So it's kind of works out well, I guess, to get you out of trouble, keep you on the trail. Is it the best? No, of course not. But cost effective, and a lot of people run them. And
the other thing you mentioned with that other shave kit was if you do break a ring gear, you can't just go get one and put it on because now it has to be a machine.
Yeah, so if you have the full shave kit and you're pretty hard on things, you better bring an extra ring and pinion gear that's already pre-shaved with you because if you find one somewhere, it's not going to be pre-cut.
And then, so now you said, it's going to be $1,000 to do that kit. Now it's even more. Now you got another $500 and another ring and pinion.
And if it's, if you break Saturday night and you want to ride Sunday, you're not going to find a machine shop open Sunday to do this right now. You're done. Your day is done. You're going home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you drove wherever you went, you put a lot of money into your vehicle to go wheeling, if that's what you want to do,
right?
And then. So if you break,
it's hard to pack up and go home.
Yeah, I mean, you just wasted half of your trip. You only got half of it in. So again, I don't know that unless you want to carry all the spare parts. If you want to do that ahead of time, then it's good to have it.
Yeah.
And the guys that are really getting competitive and they want every bit of clearance that they can get, it will get you that little bit more clearance. But for a lot of the weekend warriors, I just don't know that it's worth it.
Laura Coda says, "Hi, Rick."
Hi.
Yeah. I never told you this, but I went to an event in Las Cruces called the Chili Challenge, and it's got some just crazy trails and climbs. And when I first got there, I was on 42s. The average tire size was 49. Average. Okay. Big was 54. And guys that brought a gooseneck had spare Rockwell complete axles on the trailer.
Just bolt it in.
To just bolt them in.
Wow.
So I knew this was the big leagues.
Yeah.
Anybody coming to play like that, man, this is going to be some tough wheeling.
It's tough.
So, good stuff.
Jerome wants to know when Rick's getting a GenRight cage.
Oh, yeah, Rick.
Actually, I have one, sort of.
Oh.
Sort of. It's in the garage. It's still in the packaging, laying on the skid up there in the garage, and it's going in the other Jeep. As soon as I make time for it.
Well, you're building this.
I got a couple things going on.
Yeah. Actually, if I knew that, I could have started tacking that together for you today.
Actually, can you just cut the old cage out for me?
Just
Okay,
get it
just
out
get
of
it out of there.
Then you got no choice. You're like, dang it, to use this, I got to get that cage in.
Yeah.
Good info, guys. Yanni's Jeep said, hello, could you provide more details on why you chose the Curry 70 axle and the 5-lug bolt pattern for your vehicles?
Sure. So the 5 on 5.5, that's a super important that you don't misunderstand what that is. So I don't know, can you see that?
Can you go to this
maybe
one?
the front one's easier. So the 5 on 5.5, the 5.5 is this, what they call the bolt circle. Okay. The first 5 is 5 lug. So in order to get this hub, which is standard size on any kind of Dana 60 or above, you've got to have that bolt pattern in the 5.5, because a standard JK or JL is 5 on 5. Okay. That will not even come close to this. So this goes on, and this is what they call a hub-centric wheel. So the wheel is actually butted right up against and fits very tightly on the hub, front and rear, and then the lug nuts literally just hold the wheel on. So the lugs aren't actually doing any of the work. And it's a very effective, so basically when you tighten these lugs down, the friction against the hub inside of the wheel is what holds everything together. And it's a very effective, they've done this forever. They've raced Baja, we race KOH. It's a great way to do it. And because the hub is small, you can run a tighter package, which gets you better scrub radius, right? So the bearing set can push the wheel back over the knuckle, and you can run bigger brakes inside there. So there's a bunch of advantages. And I know all of these things are small details, but all of these details add up. This is a lot of what I'm always telling you guys. None of these things are like, oh, well, that's just a monumental leap. It's all these little things. So the next thing about that is with the knuckle that I have on here, we're able to do a high steer arm, and then it's double shear. And then the next thing about the Curry axles is they're both high pinion front and rear. So the rear drive shaft and the front drive shaft are pushed way up, and they're actually protected by the links. So if you end up getting into those drive shafts, you have worked really hard to get into those. And it's again, all of those things are just small differences. Both Rick's axle and my axle are full float. That's an important part, because if you do break a shaft, then the wheel doesn't fall off. So the 14 bolt uses those bolts on the outside to actually hold the axle in. Mine has a drive slug, so you remove that cap, and then the axle's right there.
Are those the 42s?
These are not the 42s. These are just the 40s. The 42s are sitting nicely to go to the show tomorrow. And then I'll have those on for Windrock. So we'll swap these out and put those on. So
Matt McDonough asked, any tips on insuring your Jeep with a full Elite V8 is close or over 100K build? How do you insure your investment?
Yeah. You want to do what's called stated value. And there's only certain insurance companies that will write a policy for stated value. One of the hot rod insurance company, I think, is Haggerty.
Haggerty.
Yes, they'll do it for sure. So you're going to pay a little bit more in the premium, but if something happens, there's no haggling. It's like they write you a check and you're done. If it gets stolen, burns up, whatever the deal is. Where a regular insurance company, you're going to have to produce receipts and prove every dollar, and they're still going to give you pennies on the dollar for what you had in it. So but it's called stated value, and that's a very important thing. And that's a great question. Yep.
Tom Nagley says, hi.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
And Mike Stewart asked, 2017 Rubicon, thoughts on Curry HD60 for cost-effective 37-inch tires, no bigger?
Yeah, that's also their newer one that doesn't have all of the features that these do. Definitely a nice upgrade, equivalent to what Dana calls their Ultimate 60. That term drives me absolutely crazy because it's anything but the ultimate axle. I'd like to sue them for that because it's just totally misleading. So yeah, that's a decent way to go.
Well, Rick Harrington said Haggerty's not doing Jeeps right now unless they're vintage.
Oh, interesting.
I did not know that.
Huh.
Oh, and they don't cover vehicles off-road.
Interesting.
Someone else said.
Well, just call
Well, there are
around and-
companies that do it.
Yeah, there are for sure. If anybody knows, pipe up. But yeah,
Steve Waterman asked, will you be making a double triangulated cross member for TJ to LJ conversion?
we already do. Isn't that a miracle? That's actually what's on Peter Doolin's 4500 race car is the double triangulated. That is my favorite,
race
by the
car.
way, for TJ, YJ, LJ. It'll fit all those. And our steel skid plate, we also offer an aluminum one, but our skid plate ties into that. So you literally bolt the skid plate up, you slide the cross member in, and you weld it in place. It's done. So very easy. We have plates that reinforce the inside of the stock frame to beef it up because you've got a lot more forces going on there. And the fact that it all ties into the skid plate is a beautiful thing. By the way, that's the same on our Elite stuff or our EXS, is the skid plate becomes an integral part of the reinforcement system, the gusset system, if you will, to the entire suspension. So,
Okay, we have a special question.
sure.
What do you think about Ultimate 60 with ORIs?
Oh, jeez.
That's your favorite song.
This must be somebody I know. They're just trying to get me riled up.
They said zoom in on your face. Sean Flaherty says, see you at the Jeep Invasion.
Actually, I got to tell you something. I was up in Rick's garage right here earlier, and he's got his coils off of his coil over shocks. And I looked in, and I'm like, don't tell me he's running those freaking ORIs. And then I looked down behind, and I could tell the coil was off. So see, he's laughing.
He saw it like, what's
Yeah.
going on here?
I
I'm
was
like,
like,
don't worry, I'm putting springs on.
Yeah, the springs are going on.
Okay, Tom Nagley said that USAA will cover a rollover with receipts, which I have personal experience with.
Oh, yeah.
But USA is military
Actually,
families.
I do want to tell that story because Jennings has a Jeep this same color. And when she first got into wheeling, she thought she had discovered Jeeping. Okay. And very excited. She wanted to go wheeling all the time. So everybody told her, do not go wheeling by yourself. You need to have people with you, right?
Right.
So she puts her kids in the car and takes off wheeling and ends up on the lid. And when everybody says, hey, we told you not to go alone, she's like, I wasn't
alone. I had both kids with me.
And the dog.
I'm not going to say a word about that. I'm not gonna say a word.
Okay, so I learned.
She
I
hasn't
learned a
made that
thing or
mistake
two.
since then.
But anyway,
It's
USA
a great
did
story.
cover the rollover.
They did.
Yeah, and then Josh Nelson said
Sorry.
you can get a balloon policy on top of standard coverage. Most insurance won't mention it. You have to really ask specifically. And then Deborah Carnell says hi from Chandler, and
Hey, all right. How's
she
that Jeep
says-
doing? She's got an Elite.
she found a
okay.
policy for her JKU through Progressive.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
I got to tell you a quick story about Laura Coda. So first time I met her, we're on a holiday run that we call it. We were at Windrock, and we're going up 39 Cadillac Hill, and she dumps the clutch, hits the gas, and she's a really good driver. And I didn't give her enough credit in the beginning, and she stomped all over me and showed me how well she can drive. But at the top of the hill, something went awry, and she literally climbed a tree and straight up and down, and luckily stepped on the clutch and rolled back out of it. So I like to give her crap about that whenever I can.
Nice.
She's a really
nice.
good driver.
I forgot she was a manual training. We were
Yes.
just talking about that because she was at the thing that I was at last weekend. The whole bricks,
Yeah.
and Woodward, all that
Yep.
stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Do
it was
you-
nice to see her out there.
Do you work on any two-door JLs?
Me?
GenRight?
No. I mean, we've got some parts for them. We have made the EXS frame for the JLL. We've got a few of those out there. Is that what you're doing? JLL? See? So we've got
It's
somebody.
a low carbon frame that you can weld onto.
The one we make.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. 3/16.
Okay.
Nice, thick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff. So there's already a few of them out there that we built. So
Alex Israel said, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good.
Matt McDonough said, I have a 2008 Dakota Custom 6.4 8-speed kit Dynatrack 4460 combo. USAA didn't know what I was talking about when I asked them about all stated or agreed value. Well,
Yeah.
they'll cover you if you roll it upside down, promise.
Yeah, and if you're just talking to a regular agent, you might have to talk to somebody a little higher up in the, and certainly not on the website.
Steve Bird says hi and says, great show tonight.
Big Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.
See them tomorrow.
Well, they're here. Yeah.
No
they're
Toot or
already in
JK
town.
or JL love.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You can stretch them though.
You can stretch them, and we make some parts for them. I know JK's. We're still doing the 2-door cages, and we've got plenty of parts for them. We even do a stretch kit for the 2-door. But JL, man, it's a weird thing because the 2 doors are less than 15% of Jeep's sales. So 85% or more are 4 doors.
Was the JK the same way?
Same way.
Same way.
Yeah. So they don't know on the next model if they'll even offer a 2-door next.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Overall, I like the look of a nice, mildly stretched 2-door. I think it looks better. But
Yeah, well, the departure angle, right?
Right,
You got
right.
all that stuff, right?
Of course, around
So,
here you need the wheelbase.
Like Lisa Adams, hers was set up pretty nice.
Yeah, hers was very well.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Rick Harrington just has some advice that you got to get it in writing from your insurance company that is agreed value. His is agreed at $250K.
Yeah, nice.
Dang,
I
Rick.
know, he's got at least that in that thing for sure.
Joe Alice asks, I have both TJ and LJ. Which one would you build? Both only sitting on 33s right now.
LJ. You and I were talking about that earlier.
Oh, turn those rock lights on, they said.
wheelbase. You got rock lights?
I have a light arm. I've got light. I don't have
Do you?
lights on this one.
Yeah.
Turn them on. I agree.
There you go. Isn't that fancy?
You don't have a colored ones?
No, that's...
Come on.
No, I don't
That
live in
change
Miami.
lights
Come
to the
on.
music?
Come on.
Come on.
No. And these are special ones. These are actually polycarbonate lenses. And look, if we want to talk about rock lights, I have a very strong opinion on this. They can't be too bright because your eye overexposes when you're out there wheeling. And that's a very important part of you being able to see is if you've got this hot spot and that now you can't see anything else around it, you're going to be driving by Braille out there, so you might as well just turn them off and not have any lights. Any thoughts on that?
My side-by-side days, every time I put rock lights on there, they were covered with mud and you couldn't see them anyhow. So there's East Coast, there's always a mud puddle on the trail.
Yes, Summer agrees with me. You need the flashy, cute colored ones.
Flashy
Yeah.
Well, there's some guys here that we saw in town, because there's a zillion people here already, that have those rings that it makes the rotor look like it's on fire, but they're lit up in colors. And I'm like, oh my God, the circus is in town.
I want those.
I want to know how they have a rock light that does not get covered with mud so you can actually see it halfway through the trail.
Like mini wipers.
I haven't tried it. I used to do that on the motocross.
On the motocross,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
In the fender, yeah. So,
Where is this new park?
Knoxville, Tennessee. Yep. South side of Knoxville.
They said thanks for all the insurance advice too.
Yep.
True story, mud on the East Coast.
Yeah.
What if they had miniature wipers?
There's always a mud hole right before the rock you're trying to go over. So your tires get nice and greasy. And then usually the third or fourth person in your group is not doing too well because the rocks are all greasy now.
Yes,
Even though
yes.
everything else is dry.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that one thing that I did at Choco Loco, what they call the boat ramp,
The boat ramp.
that they're like, the earlier you go, the better
Yeah.
chance you have.
And they say actually stay in the water on that one.
Huh.
Is what I've seen.
Interesting.
I've tried it one time with my LJ and I didn't make it.
No?
But I
Did you see my video?
I saw your video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked like nothing.
Looked like nothing.
I know. They couldn't believe it. And I don't know if I told you, but they were totally talking shit. They're like, come on, California, get over there and show us how it's done. And I'm like, sure, I'll put some tires on it.
Yeah.
Like, no problem.
Yeah. Multiple videos I've seen, they say stay in the water and of course crawl really, really slowly. Because I lit them up with my LJ and Ed. Yeah, I went.
No,
way
that's
anywhere. And I
bad,
tried going
yeah.
way off to the left and like climbing the wall, and that didn't work either. Like, I was almost sideways and rolling over.
No, if you go sideways, it's a quick dump.
Yeah, because it's hard to tell from the videos, is there's a big ledge there. So if you go up about 10 feet or so and you slide back, you hit like a 2-foot ledge.
Yes.
And it kicks you sideways.
Sideways,
badly.
yeah, bad. Yeah. You know, even from the bottom, you can't see that.
No. And you think you can like jump over it and land and keep going? No.
No,
Yeah, you're done.
No.
What's your website again, Rick?
BAYS Mountain Offroad.
All right.
Or is it just baysmountain.com?
It's BAYS Mountain Offroad.
Okay.
Yeah, BAYS Mountain Offroad. Sorry, I don't use that one all the time, so I have to ask the wife to confirm.
And they have a Facebook group.
Yeah, Facebook page, and that is that's the website. It's just BAYS Mountain Offroad on
Facebook as well.
Yeah, BAYS Mountain Offroad.
And you guys post a lot of updates and events and stuff on there?
Yeah, that's where we do most of our posting is on Facebook. You know, we don't mess with the website much. It's on there, but you get
informational.
Yeah, you get all of our stuff is on Facebook.
Yeah.
And that's where we keep up with that one and the times we're going to be open, events were happening, and stuff like that. So it's better to go there.
And tonight we're doing a night ride.
We're doing a night ride. Yeah, we're going to stay out as long as we want to. I happen to know the owner. We can do whatever we want here.
Nice.
But yeah, we've got several Jeeps out there right now, and it's nice and cool. So
I heard a side-by-side out
Oh,
there.
Alan just said he'll see you guys this weekend. I was just
nice.
asking about you, Alan.
Nice. All
Looking
right.
forward to it. We're going to party.
Excellent.
Oh, no Jeep.
No Jeep.
Oh, well, that's probably
Alan
safer.
always has FOMO.
Yeah, that's safer.
So he's done that school bus
Oh yeah, school
out
bus.
of Windrock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, school bus is a
In
good
his
one.
elite.
Yep. It's one of the better trails, close to the parking lot. But if you're not set up very well, you're winching or you'll break. It's a good one. I like school bus.
Nice.
Make sure you have gas, Tony.
Yeah, tank is full.
Oh, wait.
I've done that before.
Josh Cohen says we want to see Kim.
Where's Kim?
She just ran up
she
to help
just
that
walked
guy.
away?
Yeah, she's signing somebody in right now. We had a side-by-side
Yeah,
roll up.
she's
and
working.
She's afraid of the camera. So you probably won't see her anyhow.
Now that we're way over here, can you spin around and show them how
Yeah.
cool this looks inside
this
here?
is your event
So
center?
the bar with a big TV, a couple of bathrooms there on the left. They're using a bunch of old barn wood, right? You said you got that?
Yeah, we actually took a.
I'm going to show him the bar. Come over.
Oh, sorry.
It's cool.
We took down a 80-year-old barn last winter. They were going to burn it. They just wanted it to be gone, and it had a lot of weathered oak. Most of it is red oak.
It
And,
looks really cool.
Yeah, and we just the old,
Zoom? No.
the rough.
No, I want to show the bar top because
Oh,
it's
bar top. Oh yeah, this
it's so
is bar
cool.
top's
It's personal.
Yeah.
There we go. So tell us about the bar top.
So we saw this in a restaurant one time, and where they took advertisements, things like that, you know, and they put the resin down, and of course you use the table at the restaurant, and you don't mess up the pictures. And so I talked to a friend of mine, and who was a builder, and we put this bar top in our basement, actually finished basement. And I said, you know, I want to use a lot of the personal pictures we have, you know, the kids growing up, and pets that we've had, and vehicles,
yeah.
off-roading, you know, the rail buggies to Jeeps to everything.
Halloween pictures.
Oh, there's Halloween. There's all kinds of
Pets.
stuff there.
Yeah, a little of everything.
So we did it. So we built he built the bar top for us, and we picked out a bunch of pictures and put the resin down, and it turned out really well.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And there's a story with almost every picture.
Yeah, you were telling me some of these earlier.
Oh, there's one of my favorites is this one right here. I don't know if you can see this or not. Is it too close? This one right here. Is that sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's our youngest son, Garrett. And he's the quiet one, puts up with a lot of crap from his older brother. But when his fuse goes off, he just has to wail on somebody. So you can see.
With a paddle.
So he picked up a cutting board? What is that?
Yeah. So
As a paddle?
it's a cutting board. So Evan had done something to him to just really make him mad, and he had had enough. And he picks up the cutting board, and it's heavy, and he's gonna whack him hard. And we caught him. We're like, no, this is too heavy. You're gonna hurt him. You can't. No, this no. And he got that little grin on his face. And he hit him anyway. Oh. Yeah, and it didn't hurt him, but so we had it was hilarious. It was funny.
Good stuff.
But yeah, so this is here for hopefully other people enjoy
This
it.
is going to be really cool. This is
Yeah.
going to be really cool.
And again, it's just for we're just going to have Saturday night socials. Everybody come over here and hang out, and bring some burgers and hot dogs and grill out and
Yeah.
whatever beverage you
So
want.
will there be picnic tables in here?
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
the-
we'll have picnic tables. So we have some high top tables we're going to
Okay.
build right here.
Okay.
And then just general picnic tables over there, and of course the bar, and then
Yeah, and you said there's going to be a countertop here, and then those roll-up doors.
roll up glass doors.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
cool.
gonna be cool.
And so we still watch the Supercrosses in the
nice.
winter.
Yeah.
So this will be the Supercross hangout.
Nice.
Starting in January.
Cool.
Yep. And so yeah, we've got some dirt bike clubs that we're involved in, and of course a lot of Jeep stuff, and just to hang out, have a good time, socialize,
Yeah. Relax, enjoy the property.
enjoy the property. Yeah.
Eddie's asking if he can build or bring a JLUR to have built at GenRight.
Eddie needs to call Andrew Harris and get on the schedule.
He says he also has a Jeep 392 JL
Yeah,
he wants to build.
that's fine too. He's just got to call Andrew and get on the schedule.
Cool. And everyone's saying to try like how great Windrock is, and they have to try 21 at Windrock. You have any? Have you done that one?
With 21. I've not seen it in probably 6 or 8 months. It has one section in the beginning, so you jump off the parking lot, you hit 22, and then from there it branches off to 21. It's not overly long trail, but it has some really good spots, and the spot that everybody talks about, or a video of, it's very off-camber with rock ledges that range from a foot to 2 or 3 feet tall, and they're almost square-edged. And it's really off-camber in the section to get up, and there's no trees to catch it. I feel it's my safety net. This tree's going to catch it. There's not a lot of trees. So there's a couple videos of Jeeps mildly rolling over. I've never seen anything dramatic there. It just gives you the pucker factor. Every time you put a wheel on it, you're like, you have to have it off-camber, and you have to get up it. So there's a lot of times where people will actually winch twice. You winch to get up, and then you winch to get on the trail. And I've seen some Jeeps hit it and go right up it pretty easily, but it's always sketchy. It's almost like there was a fine line of making it or rolling
not,
over.
yeah.
So
Sean
that's a good one.
Bushman says Rick loves 21 with a yikes face.
No, so with my spring setup was way too stiff. We were on that trail with Sean, and I winched up the first part, and I said, I don't want to winch on the second part. I mean, come on, I got elite suspension, I can do this. But my springs were way too stiff because I took a bunch of weight off of it. And I got into a section that was teetering on 2 wheels, and everybody starts freaking out. "Ah!" And it didn't feel that bad to me, but they said it looked really bad. So that's when I had a couple guys hanging off the side of the Jeep just to get over a couple of rocks. And then the sway bars went off after that, and then now this, of course,
Yeah, and actually, Rick and I have talked several times today about weight. Just the weight of the vehicle and how big of a role that plays in how it performs. And you'd even mentioned your bulldozer, like how heavy it is, and like it's just a lot to get it up the hill.
Yeah, when I cut trails in, I told you it's difficult to push a small tree down uphill because you're just trying to get traction. But you turn around and you can push a lot of stuff downhill, because you got the weight working with you.
Yeah.
Well, Summer says she broke her windshield slamming down at the beginning ledges. If it's dry, it's not bad, but water or muddy days is bad.
Yeah, and with that park, you have
Let's spin back over here because I realize you got that light right in the background.
You have so many trails with that park where it's dry and it's dusty, but you still have water trickling down, and of course it's going right over the obstacle you want to go over.
Yeah, of course.
And it gets all slimed
Slimy.
up. Yeah, and it's it's a great park. I really
That's how
like
it was when I was at S'more. It got all slimy like that.
So you want to be the first couple of people to get up it, because otherwise it's bad for everybody else.
Yeah.
So we're going to go up before Jeff goes up. So
Yeah.
we can dig that knife in a little bit.
Oh, Craig Phillips said it's interesting that in the eastern portion of the country, off-roading is not dictated by BLM, NPS, Department of the Interior, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Yeah, it's all private.
Privately owned over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're used to open
Yeah.
public land.
There's some Tennessee state land here that there's a lot of trails on, but of course, a lot of people abuse it, and they're starting to put some regulations on. They're talking about a lot of regulation on it. So Windrock has 73,000 acres, so there's everything that you might want. Our park is more set up for your daily drivers, people that are on 35, 37s, You don't want to tear up axle shafts and body damage and all that, but you want to have a good time. So you can get on the greens and then get on the reds if you want to do more aggressive stuff. But if you want to go really aggressive and a lot of good stuff, Windrock Local is the place to go.
Hey, Tony, do your giveaway.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we've got
Trivia
the K&N,
question.
The K&N, this is a $100 gift card. Everybody see that? Yeah. And what was our question?
Where, city and state, where Jeeps are made. Quick.
Without Googling.
No
it,
Googling.
like first one,
Answer.
fast.
Quick.
It should be pretty easy.
Better be paying attention.
Was it currently made or was the first one was made?
No,
Currently made.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll check those and I'll email you the information.
Brian Parker.
Yeah.
Toledo, Ohio.
He's the guy. Okay.
He answered first. I am. You win.
Nice. All right. Congratulations.
All right, Brian, we need you to email Tony@GenRight.com.
Or just message me.
Or just message on
either one.
Facebook so that we can send you that.
Yep.
Have you been past the plant?
We knew it would be an easy
Yes.
one.
Yeah, it is
First
cool.
answer.
Yeah, there was even a little test track out there. Yeah.
I've been
So that was
past
cool.
multiple times.
There was something else I was just going to talk about when we were out there today.
Josh.
And it wasn't the off-camber stuff. It was... dang. We'll find some good stuff out there. I still hear the side-by-side out there buzzing around.
He's got his lights going. And
Yeah. All right. Well, do we have any other questions?
Oh, they're all answering now, but
Now.
Brian Parker
He
got
Yeah,
it
he's on the ball. Okay.
first.
Well, thanks everybody for participating in that. If we don't have any other questions, we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, no other questions.
it's
Okay.
dinner time. We're hungry.
It is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. I always like doing these live from a remote location. So we'll be up at the show for the next few days, and we'll probably do another live from there, but not associated with Tech Talk. But thanks again for joining us, and I will see you next Wednesday, hopefully from the shop. I don't know where I'll be. So, yeah.
You might still be here.
Might still be here. All right,
night.
guys. Thanks.